Okay, guys, we'll go ahead and get started. A little bit early again, which is fine, and I'm sure people will join later. So let me switch over here. I think we're good. All right. All right, so just a market recap for those, as this is a public live stream, you may not be subscribed to my service. If you're watching that, that's fine. The market is obviously correcting this cycle from this February peak. Typically, you'll see three-wave bounce. This looks too shallow, too short, too bearish to be over here. It looks like you'll get, you know, either X is in, and we'll get this Y, and we'll finish this move in the next week, or it's gonna be a little more erratic, something like this. Like I said, the really bearish situation that isn't eliminated is still possible, is it's already finished, and we're about to have a market accident. Oh my God, what did I do to the market? I just popped the bubble, and the pin can't go back in the balloon once it's popped. So if this is the peak, we'd be looking at the Qs below 400. Okay, chart support would bring you probably to 379. That's what you'll be looking at. So that's pretty bearish, right? That would be big tech, collapsing, big cap tech, just having another massive sell-off. So that what would generate that kind of fear? Well, something that's not known. Tariffs are known to the marketplace. All these other risk events are known. So the question is, what could cause such a bearish, view? It would be something unknown, right? Something no one has expected, even given all this other information. So something would have to come out and really surprise people. So either the market thinks the tariffs are still just a bluff, or they're underestimating what April 2nd will bring, or there could be a whole nother chapter that we haven't even we don't even know yet. It hasn't even emerged. But anyway, we don't really care about that stuff. We're just looking at this. So I still think you've got this kind of setup, and the same thing here. Some nice little three-wave action, tradable bottom, whatever you want to call it. It would take, like I said, a pretty big catalyst to really accelerate and cause this to drop, from where we are now. It'd have to be a pretty big catalyst, kind of out in left field. Okay, guys, let's go. I'll just start answering your questions, because I usually come in and I fall behind here. So this MOWI, I'll take a look at it for you here. MOWI is one we've looked at before. Let's check in on it. Looks like it's coming out of our buy area nicely here. Now, the sequence here looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that looks like that would be the bottom, and now we turn the corner. So this is behaving very nice technically. Very nice reaction here. It went deep in the box, but now it's coming out. So you could have bought anywhere in here, and you should be in the profit. This obviously is in some kind of two-wave, right? And it could be so the problem is it's very shallow. It could be a flat, which would mean this would really drop hard. Your wave 4 is right here, so it could easily do that and become a flat and come back down and do something like that. Let's take a look, a closer look. Now see, I had the assumption that we had divergence at the peak. We don't. So I wonder if we would look at this as maybe this is the 5, and then We just kind of change it up a little bit, put the 5 there, and then have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you correct the whole cycle, and it's likely to do another swing lower, but it doesn't have to because you hit the wave 4 area. But I still think it's still viable here if it pulls back against this low. But this is going according to plan. I mean, there's your target. So I think it will make its way up there. I think we got almost every swing right. It went a little bit deep, but a lot of stocks did, and this one has come out. And in fact, it's come out further than most, so it's reacting really well. Okay, kind of skipping ahead. Indo is was okay today. I think it was green, 3.5%. So my last live stream, I think I gave the update on Indo. Somebody asked me. We had this as our kind of pickup area. We literally hit it to the penny, and we went higher, like almost exactly to the penny. So again, maybe my system's just lucky, but this tends to happen more than not. And here we are, and we could have a big breakout. Now, I don't want to get too excited. The bigger picture, you probably need a little more time to form this right shoulder. We also have this commodity that we're watching called oil, and it's not clear right now where it's heading. Now, tonight, it looks like it did take out this high. I think that's significant. As long as it pushes higher, I think Indo will be okay. And at some point, it could break out. The big breakout in Indo would happen is if we're still in a bigger connector and we don't realize it yet. We're in this, and oil pumps up to 88. But if we're not, and we're in something like this, it could be just a quick trade and then more downside. So you can't like fall in love with it. Okay, you can't fall in love with it. If you try to fall in love with it, you may end up losing everything you made on it. So it's definitely, I think, likely, not guaranteed, to come out of this and come up here somewhere. But then after that, it could easily go back and make new lows or break or come back. It can easily do that. So if you fall in love with it up here, just know that that's a risk. Now, if the commodity wants to make a bigger push higher, well, then maybe it can get more separation. And then when oil pulls back for the final low, this can hold the low. So we're going with this chart for now. And that's how we'll play it. Now, Devon Energy, let's take a look at how that's doing. So, we did make a higher high here, but we never got that X wave like we would have expected, right? We were expecting another leg lower down here. Now, if we look at this closely, could this be a triangle? Yeah, it's probably a triangle. You see, typically some people, use this as a guideline, but if the RSI is in a triangle, then it's almost like this is a triangle. So this X is a triangle. That's how I have to label it because of the way the RSI is behaving. So we'll do something like this. It's probably going to do something like that. Okay. I might be off by a swing here and there. I could be off by a swing here and there. But you get the idea. I mean, I could even maybe, something like this, even more bearish. That means it's ready to collapse. But I don't want to trade it here. I don't want to trade it here. It's clearly stuck, consolidating sideways in a bearish continuation pattern that should resolve lower. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Yeah, do you think this stock meme craze will ever happen again? I think it will, because you have to look at the bigger picture of like the Russell guys. And I have some time to talk about this stuff. The Russell on the Grand Super Cycle controls your meme stock pumps and dumps, or the RK is another good one. But as you remember, when the Russell went from here to here, it was main stock mania, crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. What this was some kind of third wave, right? This is probably was something like this, is what I was thinking. Something like that. Now, some people have it different than this. Some people would label it like this, something like that even. But see how we took the divergence out? Just doesn't work for my system, right? So I don't have it labeled that way. I have it labeled, you know, something like that. And we're in a big flat that should correct back down to somewhere about here. Somewhere about here, maybe a little bit higher, I don't know. But what the point I'm getting at is when wave 3 of this cycle comes, if anyone has any money left to spend, because most people will lose. I mean, I'm just going to keep it real, guys. When we get this wave 2, which I think we're already in, most people won't have any money left to trade, and they would either have given up on the market, lost all their money, or not have or whatever, or don't have jobs to spend on it because everyone's unemployed in the recession or worse. But when this ends, like we had here, this wave 3 will make the meme stock craze here look like a baby. This would be a gigantic mania, far exceeding what this was when this wave 3 comes. But it won't happen as a V. I mean, although the fractal does point out it could V bottom if it follows the same fractal, right? If we look at the Russell fractal, you had an ABC. Here you had an ABC. It's the same fractal. Look, and if you guys don't know what that means, you can look up fractal on Google. That's the child fractal. This is the parent fractal. The parent. It's the same corrective pattern playing out. It's the same thing. It's the same personality. So what I expect, meme stocks and all that, we'll do grading in. But most people won't be able to participate in it, sadly. We'll refuse to believe it. But anyway, right now the Russell looks like shit, guys, for now. It looks like shit. So your meme stocks are just tradable, but it's a ticking time bomb still. You know what I mean, based on this chart. Now, it can be wrong. I can be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then this will make another high and make a fifth wave. And then it will pull back again, and we'll just get back in again. No big deal. But this is kind of what I'm looking at for the Russell. So the Russell, this is driving your meme stocks. And right now it's saying there's going to be more pain, but right now we have a tradable situation. So we're trying to get our bats in. We're going to try to get in the batter's box and see what happens. We have our pro members. We bought GME right here, literally on the lows. And we're letting the market decide. If the two could keep pushing higher, GameStop will keep running higher, and it will keep going and going. And if it breaks this high, it will be a big gainer. And so will all your other small caps. But if it fails, if it's already done here, all those meme stocks are just going to collapse back down and break those lows that we just made, and everyone will panic for even lower lows. And that's just it's just nothing I can do about that, because that's the way the market's trading right now. But that's what this count has, and we've had this count since this peak here. Again, you can go back and watch my videos. I called this peak when we peaked in B, and we just kind of been riding around, and we actually had a buy here, and then we actually had the short here. Our basic members, right when I started my channel, we shorted here. I think I was the only person online that was shorting anything in the ETF, in the indices, anyone. And we made serious gains, and we took profit right around here. I don't remember exactly where, but and then we called the meme stock buy. I did not buy the Russell here, but I bought the meme. We bought meme stock here, and now we're at a critical juncture because two could be finished here. I don't think it is, so I think the small caps could still run and still break out based on this chart. If the top's in, nothing's going to break out, and it's all about to unravel, and no one's expecting it. Okay, guys, that's kind of what I want to say about that. In Tesla's, it already bottomed. I think Tesla says a little more downside. I'm not. I'm still holding the short open on Tesla, so it's still got to go down. The market hasn't given me a reason to show that it's bottomed. It's trying so hard. It's trying so hard, but it just can't do it. The news and sentiment is just too bearish, even for the pumpers to overcome. They just can't overcome the negativity in the market right now. Yeah, the April 2nd is some spooky, some horrible date that the world's going to come to an end. Guys, I've been trading the market for many, many years, and under Trump, of course, for the first 4 years. All these dates get extended, they get delayed, they get canceled, they work it out at the last minute. I have yet to see a date that actually follows through and the world ends. So if you are worried about April 2nd as some big date and you're just going to go long the VIX on April 1st, I guarantee it's not going to do that. It's going to pump. I just think that's what's going to happen. The market will sell into the news. I think it's like sell the rumor, buy the news situation. That's what I think April 2nd represents. I honestly cannot, it can't be that easy that just on April 3rd the whole market collapses and you could just buy, 100 grand of VIX calls, 1 week out and become millionaires. It can't be that easy. There's no way it's that easy, guys. It's no way it can be that easy. So I think that's just a news event trap used to and it is manipulating people right now into doing probably selling when maybe you shouldn't, because we should be getting this. So maybe if here's April 2nd, so maybe we meander around in this wave, and then April 2nd comes or right before, and nothing bad happens, and then you get Y. And everyone's we're so happy. Oh shit, they delayed it. And then something else happens. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Or people really panic before April 2nd and we get to 3, 4, 5. And then going into April 2nd, everyone hugs and makes up, and it's back to the bull market again. So that I don't think it's like Y ends on April 1st. I seriously doubt that that's what's going to happen, guys. Okay. All right, NIX, N-I-X-X. Let's go to that, N-I-X-X, guys. N-I-X-X. Nixie. All right, Nixie's going higher. All right, looks like that's what we were hoping for so far. But boy, hey, if I get that right, that's a good call. I don't see why it wouldn't. We need to just confirm it broke the cycle. So you're still in the downtrend from price, but from momentum, you've broken this downtrend. But let's go to the higher time frames. Clearly, you're broken. Now, see that bullish divergence? That's some kind of fifth wave, and that could concern me, but it could be seeing the fifth wave of that leg, which is okay because the weekly erases it. So we're probably seeing the fifth wave of this leg, this C leg down. Right? It's probably something like this. Right? It's probably something like that. Or this is an ABC and it's a flat, right? ABC. Let me take a step back. So there's another, we could still be an X. Let me see if I can do this right. Like that. This is what destroys traders. This pattern. This is a viable pattern. This count is as equally viable as the other one I had when I first clicked on this. So, would you be able to survive this? Most people wouldn't. Most people wouldn't because they'll hold too long, they'll have hope, and they'll lose everything. They'll give up, they'll miss this run, and the shorts are about to get blown up, and then they'll come down and they'll say, "Oh, short, short, short," and then get blown. So everybody loses. Everyone loses here. So what you got to do is, as this pumps, if it continues, is take some profit just in case this happens and you don't get this. So what it means is you may not make as much as you wanted, but at least you leave with the casino with some money, in your pocket. Because if you try to hold through this, you won't end up with nothing. But this is very possible. This chart right here, and let me make this a little darker. As you can see, this path is very erratic, but very possible. But I don't know. I can't. We don't have enough data to know, and we haven't broken the full cycle convincingly enough. And if we look at this first leg, it took October 23 to October 20, a year. So this could take another year to play out. We've only come, what, maybe 4 or 5 months? So we're probably only halfway through X, right? It took a year. This is probably going to take a year as well. This probably bottoms out, my guess, sometime in October. What a shocker. I bet that's what happens. Again, this is kind of what I think. Right? That's what I think. So we'll go with that. We're going to go with that for this one. Very complicated. If I get this right, I'll be pretty surprised myself, honestly. Because this is tough. This is a tough one. Okay, guys. Good luck on that one, Eric. And then let your winners ride. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, we were trying to buy J&J for a while, but it just wouldn't dip like we want it. So just didn't happen. But we knew it was gonna. It's about to take out the all-time high. So we have to say the two's in here, right? You really have to. Especially if it's going to take out the all-time high. This is why you can't be too picky about your entry, right? Let's look at the RSI here. I don't know. I mean, when you look at this, again, that's in 3. That's in 3, 3, and 5. This looks like 5 down. But is it? No, it's 3 down too. So you have 3, 3, 3. So I'm just going to try. I'm going to see if I could, make sense of some of this. So you have a W, and are we still in X is the question here. Three, 5, So that's 5, and that's 3. So you have 3, 3, 3, 3. So 5, 3, A, B, C. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sense of some of this to see if we can figure it out. Yeah, I think don't like that. Yeah, J&J is a very complicated corrective structure. I almost want to say it. Yeah, this is up in 3. So again, I think we have to label it this way, and then it's up in 3, down in 3, up in 3. I think this is the only way to label it. And maybe put that there. And then this, maybe something like that. Yeah, I think you see how it keeps erased. It extended. It broke the cycle, and then it took it out. So yeah, I'm back to putting that here. I'm back to putting that there, and then going with what I had before. As this is kind of like X. That's 5 up, 5 up. So that's the ABC right there. And then you have your next one. Yeah, it's got to be still in Y here. Because if I put X here, which is what we had, it doesn't work anymore. So we have to still be in the connector wave. And we're still in Y of the full of this of our X because we took out all that, and then Y here see really starts from there. So again, I'm coming back to put in it here. So we will have, yeah, we're gonna have to it's a triple. It's gonna be we have to label this as like something like this. And then that's like a W. And then it's got to be something like that. Because of the divergence here. So let's let me finish that up the right way here. A, B, C. So X. Oops, what was I doing? Like this. I think this lines up better with our market forecast of the more downside anyway. But I think with Y, you have to be careful that you're not still in Y and extends higher. But it doesn't have to. But it could easily do something like that. I have a feeling it comes back down here. Okay, it does something. I just have a feeling it will do that improperly bottom, because all I see is three-wave moves in congested area. I think this breakout is likely to fail, and it may already have, and we just don't know for sure yet. It's a very tough chart to trade, but if it does come back down, it's not going to go much lower than here, so it's going to be supported. So I think, you're just going to have to decide. Let's look at some fractals to see if we have any clues back on its last big correction on what it did. So here it kind of, makes a peak and crashes down, makes a peak and crashes. So it tends to make peaks and crash down. Typically, it loves to do that, to end its correction on like essentially a peak and a crash. You keep see that fractal? It's a peak and a crash. And here we're at an absolute peak. We're at the peak of the whole thing, but we have no crash. So it's likely, based on the fractal nature of these waves, to get a drop down like that. It's just highly likely. Okay, it's unlikely a major cycle ends off the grand super cycle like it does now, because none of the other cycles, lesser degrees, has ever ended. They always end with a drop. Every one ends with like a little flash, little capitulation drop, tail. I bet we get the same thing here. All right, let's take a look here. EXR. All right, so this one looks pretty good on the grand supercycle with some divergence. And looking at that looks like a 1-2 right there. And then you have your 3-4 right up there. Something like that. So now you've been correcting the grand supercycle. The question is the correction done? It could be here, but you have 3 up. You don't have 5. And you have 3 down. So the market hasn't made up its mind yet. You have no divergence. Now, if you look at this peak, you have just a little bit. So perhaps you have a little bit of a clue. Perhaps this is an impulse. Maybe. You can talk yourself into it. If it is, then this could be finished here, because I see 3 waves, or it could take another swing down. I think if we look at our levels, it definitely went deep enough. It definitely capitulated. I think we go with this for now, this count. And then on the shorter time frame, it's got to hold this low. Now, if it breaks this low, this will become a new connector. You'll have 3, 3, and you'll drop. So if you break this low, it will come back down to this lower area, right? It will take a whole nother three-leg move down, typically down to 120, 111, and retest your low. And then all of a sudden, now maybe you have to say, well, maybe it was 3 waves all along, and we'll break the low. So I think the bullish case is intact as long as you hold 140.67. If you break it, then you're coming down here, which actually opens you up for a whole nother leg lower, and I wouldn't want to be part of that. All right, GNRC. G. All right, GNRC. Genrac. I heard high interest rates really hurt this company. What a massive pump, and now a dump. So let's take a look. 1, 2. Yeah, it's obviously done. It's did a full impulse off of this peak. So now the question is it done too? But anytime you get a dip like that, it's almost never the bottom. It's almost never the bottom. So and what that market is telling you is the bears still have control of the market, but not as much, but just enough still. So it looks like you had 3 waves down here for W, and now you're in a connector, and you'll take another leg lower. I don't know how low it will go, but I definitely wouldn't want to buy this thing. This chart is massive broken. In fact, you could short it below 196 probably and be okay with this lower low. Since it broke the low, I would short any pops, and it's hard to say how low it will end up going, but it's likely going back down to the historical support area. $37 is probably its likely rest-in spot. And looking at this, looks like you got like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be done. You could be done wave 1 down. So you could get a counter trend rally. So this, if you can get a nice 3-wave bounce, you could short that. Okay, I don't know how low. I don't know. So it'll go down like that, and it's got to be in 3 waves. So it wouldn't quite be like this structure. It'd be more like that. Okay. Next is SNWGF. Snowline Gold Corporation. Probably some kind of gold miner. Wow, look at that chart. A lot of divergence. So either this is a massive 5th wave or it's just getting started. And my guess is it's probably just getting started. So this is one always like, it's good, you brought it to our community's attention. I appreciate that. And this is about to, there's no reason to sell this if you got in down here. And then you could just use your imagination how high it's going to go. I don't know. I don't know. We'll add that to our gold miners, and we'll add that to our elite members. We'll track these. Sometimes we'll get some good charts like this to trade. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks. Let your winners ride. Appreciate that. All right, good. That's good here. So let's see. I don't have too many questions tonight, which is fine. I've been doing more live streams, which is good. So I could don't get as many, but I'll stay on a little bit longer. I'll talk a little bit more about the market. I'll stay on just a little bit longer. But there's no reason to stay on if there's no more questions. What I'll say is request it. Go back to the watch list. So Bitcoin, let's look at Bitcoin real quick. So Bitcoin is at a critical moment. It's about to either, this may become, I call the ultimate suckers rally of all time on Twitter history, the history of X, and or it will make another leg higher, right? And continue and potentially continue with this connector. But I think that's up to the market overall, because let's just face it, Bitcoin's a liquidity, it's related to market liquidity, and And if the market is we've never seen the market sell off in Bitcoin Moon, right? We never seen that. So why would we expect that? So if the market's going to continue to sell off, short term or long term, I don't think this could happen. Now, if technology wants to take a pump and get going, then yeah, then you could get a bigger connector. But for right now, we're staying bearish. You know, we had our buy here. We stayed out of this choppy connector and got our buy here. And the same thing goes in this connector. I'd rather just stay out of this, and I could care less whether I'm missing some upside or FOMO. Could care less about it. I have my levels. We know, like, if it comes down there, we'll buy it. If not, let the day traders slice each other apart and take all their money from each other. And I'll just wait with my capital for a better opportunity that's clearer. But if this is the count, again, there's no guarantee it is, but if this is the count, Bitcoin's about to get annihilated. I don't know what's another word for it. You know, destroyed, annihilated, blown up. If this is the count, so we got to get pumping. This was a pretty sharp break, though. All right. Like I said, I can be wrong. That's why I'm not trading this. It's not a very clear chart here. You know, looking at some of the other crypto like Ethereum, called the Wave 4 peak. My elite members were able to call that. My elite members actually were able to buy this at 1800, and I was recommending taking some profit here, and then looking to re-enter down lower. That seems to be what's playing out. Okay, Chain Link, I still have that going lower. Typically, if this is an extended fifth, you'll lose the whole fifth. That brings you back down to 960. Bitcoin Cash, still have that going lower. You have a lower low sequence here. You broke the low. That should go lower. Litecoin stuck in a flat and just needs one more dump, I think, down to this area, the 60s. Solana got the first. So this W did not go down that far, so that's good. So we may not. It's gonna be tough to pinpoint the bottom. I was worrying that it could go, you know, to unbelievable lows, but I think more like 80 is now more reasonable because of how this is consolidating here. And gold, silver, gold, you know, as we could see, still should continue higher. And again, our basic members, you know, we had buys here and here. There's another buy set up here. So they're all long gold in these areas. And then silver, today our members got an alert to buy silver, and they're already profitable on that buy. Hopefully this will extend. And if it, like we say, silver can go into berserk mode, we can make a fortune for not having to even sit through all this. It seems unfair to all the holders that have held possibly for years, and then we could just kind of catch the train at the very end and get the move. And look, guys, when I say silver goes into berserk mode, silver always ends like this. See that? That's how silver ends its cycle. That's the fractal. So it won't be any different. So if silver is not going to double correct, it's going into berserk mode, guys, and just use your imagination how high it can get. Probably tag 50. I think the last time we broke out a silver here, if we look back, way back when, you know, the first major consolidation, we broke out but got rejected before we really got going. So we may get rejected at the all-time highs, around the all-time highs, and consolidate for quite a while before you get the real big move. But then here you see you just broke out and went. So there's no guarantee that it will find resistance here. It could just break out and squeeze to unthinkable levels. And you know, my berserk mode target for silver would probably be like 300 an ounce, 330 an ounce. I think I was looking at. That would be potentially a level. So just if this count has bottomed in 2 here. Now, if it does this, obviously that isn't happening, and it's still, we're not out of the woods because we have a 3 and a 3, so this can easily pull back down. But today may have provided one of the best opportunities to get long if this is going to extend and accelerate higher. But if it doesn't, it doesn't, right? And we basically have no loss based on where our entry was. We essentially entered at the low. So we essentially have house's money, nothing to lose, everything to gain. And these are the types of trades that I try to give you guys that are members. You know, not everything works out, but some of them do that work out like that. All right, so I got a XRP. Yeah, how's XRP doing real quick, and then I'll go to the question. I thought I glanced at it quickly, and it looked like it was holding up again. It looked like it was holding up. Let's see here. How is it doing? Yeah, still holding up. Yeah, still holding up. Still holding up. Here, that's good. Let me see here. Let's see here. Real quick. Okay, so root. Let's go to root here. All right, root. So I do like to buy it when it gives the right opportunity, but right now I'm worried about buying it here. It has all the signs of a potential top. You know, there's a couple things I'll point out. We obviously have one cycle here, right? This 1-2 right here, but you have this other bit. So there's a couple things. It's either what I have here, or it's this uber bullish chart that looks something like this, right? And you get a small pullback, and it goes vertical. So I think this was too bullish, too perma-bullish for me. So I tried to label it something more of a classical look, something like that, and see what happens. But I don't want to buy it here because of all those reasons I just said. Because whether it's this or the one before, it should be ending the cycle and pulling back. It shocked me to go higher from here. I'd be shocked. And but it is like a coiled spring, that's for sure. So there's no sign that the cycle has ended. I can say that, but I just don't like the trade charts that look quite like this one. Yeah, and yeah, you lagged out during XRP, didn't get any of it. Okay, I'll go back to XRP again. The dollar tree chart is slow going. It's a slow mover, and if the indices have bounced and they're finished and Dollar Tree hasn't rallied, we need to dump it because one idea about stocks is this: if the SPY has made a move, a rally, and we get to the end of the rally and we start to go down, we know it's the end of the rally, we go back and reflect on our trades. Which ones are our underperformers? Which ones are our overperformers? Our underperformers that could not rally or barely move when this happened, we get rid of them. It's not worth our time. There's something wrong with them because what's going to happen when the market goes down? God help them. They're going to probably go lower. So our high performers will hold or look to add, but we need to dump poor performers no matter what the chart looks like, because we just don't need our money tied up in that. And Dollar Tree is one of them. And I'm close to pulling the plug on that. But technically, it's still holding the chart. Anyway, so let's go back to XRP. I didn't talk about that. XRP was a good one. Is a good one here, guys. On the weekly here, again, you know, we we didn't get caught up labeling this, and it still may not even be labeled right. Someone could probably tell me it's not labeled right. I don't really care. We just drew the box and said buy it here and hold, because we knew this was coming, but we didn't know why. And then all of a sudden, all the news turned, and it was like, oh, so obvious. But most people that were holding here, right? We were holding here, and we actually, I mean, going way back, we had to buy here, guys, at 29 cents. I mean, that box is there for a reason. So somebody asked me to buy it way back here. Now, God, if you held through all that, you deserve your 10 bagger. Now, here is where I think we are. But again, we're in the same situation. We're going to have to just be patient as this plays out. You accumulate in this zone and you wait. Now, if this breaks, then then you're going to dip down just a little bit more, but I still think it's supported. I think it's still supported. So this is where you got to do what's best for you if you're in XRP. Like if this low breaks, you're going to have to decide how much you want to, what you want, how you want to manage this trade. I wish it was clearer. And it is outperforming, I think. Like if I look at this on a bigger, like if I look at this here over February, the February low was at 170 and we're trading above it, right? And I think if I go to like some of the other ones, where's Bitcoin's February low? We're below it. Look, Bitcoin was trading at 92,000 on February 2nd and we're trading at 84. But XRP is trading higher. How about ETH? Oh, that one must be trading over. Wait, no. ETH is trading lower. Shit. What about Chainlink? That's trading lower. Bitcoin Cash trading higher. Huh, interesting. Soon to be trading lower probably, but hey, okay, that's interesting. Litecoin, February 2nd, trading a little higher. Probably drop a little bit lower. Solana, yeah, that's got obliterated. So my point is it's performing well. So if we looked at some of the bigger coins, I mean Litecoin, I think, and Bitcoin Cash are also over the February lows, soon to be below. But I don't know if XRP will break that February low. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. And I'll tell you, if it doesn't break the February low and these cycles finish, I think that tells you all you need to know about which altcoin you want to be in, or if that's even considered an altcoin. I'm just saying, guys. It's what the chart is telling me. I don't care about XRP. I don't own any of it, by the way. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, guys. Reason to sell. So the triple M's, guys, is like if interest rates are going down, the dividend paying stocks like MMM are going to do good. But if interest rates rise, I think people leave the dividend paying stocks typically, but we have to look at that chart. But let me go to Alwyn, your question. AMAT. All right, let's take a look at how that's doing. So we did have the sell area here. You could have shorted it, so here we made a lower low. So this was a short opportunity, and our target has been 130, and we've been waiting for months and months and months. And I think we're about to get there, just like a lot of these AI. If this is why, I can just draw this out real quick for you. Let's just draw this out. Maybe it will truncate. 1, 2, 3, 3. Looks like it needs a 5. A lot of things just need this little 5. Everything needs just a little 5, like just one more low. Almost so many of these charts just look like it needs one more low. It's so funny. That's it. It may truncate, so you may not get the perfect entry, but you have a lot of chart support here at 142, so it's probably going to truncate at around 140. So I wouldn't be surprised if it makes another low, but I would be surprised if it accelerates and extends because it's been so beat up. I would be surprised if this becomes another one too and it goes like down here. I would be, but maybe 141, 136 is where you should really be looking for now. And that could be a major low. Let's look at the bigger picture. A 1, 2, 1, 2. So we have it very bullish, right? We don't have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I should. We could double check that real quick and see. You see where the peak is, and you would expect this peak to be up here. And you see the RSI. We're not correct in the grand super cycle here. So this is a very bullish chart, guys. Aim at, hell, you may just want to buy it here. And why even? But I think you just wait. I think we're gonna add this one too to our watch list. I even have it on hot charts. Yeah, I must have put that there for some reason. I'll put this on our elite group. We'll keep an eye on this one because it could be in a grand super cycle wave 3 of 3 setup. If this can hold, if we accelerate lower, then it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to reset the grand super cycle, which we don't want to see happen. See, it's right up on the trend line. You see, we're good. We can make a little more downside and then come out of this. But if we can't do that, then it's going to be correct in the grand super cycle and we can't be part of it. So you may have to watch your RSI too, as well as the price, to understand what's going on. So it's a dynamic situation. So it's not just static, right? You just can't buy it and walk away. You're going to have to watch how it falls in here. If it falls here, what's the momentum like? Did it erase divergence? Did this become a 1? If this becomes a 1, 2, and then you can't buy it. So it's a tricky chart, but that's how I kind of look at that. Yeah, thank you for XRP is the only crypto acting. Not in. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't see it. I think it's not. I think it's doing its own thing. It definitely looks like that to me. And a few others are starting to, but not. They're just The king falls, so does the kingdom. But maybe XRP is the new king. Maybe there's a overthrow of the king gonna happen soon, for all we know, and we just don't realize it yet. Okay, let's look at because back in the 2000s, what was it? Cisco and everybody was into Microsoft, and now they're not like the kings, right? Nvidia's the king now, so kings can come and go, right? Kings come and go in trading in markets. They don't last forever, so maybe Bitcoin won't be the king in the future. Maybe it's another crypto going to emerge for some reason. All right, I'll look at this MMM, the dividend paying stocks, because I haven't really looked at these in a while, because I still forecast rates to go higher, so I'm not really interested in them. But let's take a look at MMM. Had a little bounce here. Try to. Yeah, see, as rates have fallen, this is getting support, and it bottomed. It just truncated a little bit here. We're gonna have to call that a 3. Right, that's gotta be a. We gotta just kind of tweak this around a little bit. Right, and now interest rates will probably, as this falls, I bet rates are gonna rise. Right, I bet rates will rise. It could do something like that. The worst case is it's a massive connector, but I don't think so. I think it's an impulse, but it's it's going to go back into a bear market. And there's one in here, the symbol that I like, if I can find it. How's Intel doing? Uh-oh. They tried to get it and couldn't quite take that out. Let's see. Looking at, I don't think I have that ETF up. I'm looking for. I think it's called SPYD. I think that's it. Yeah, SPYD. Okay, SPYD is another one. So you know, rates have been kind of falling. I think we're about to get rise in rates again, and then who knows what happens here. But I think that's this. If this is right, the SPYD is peaked in the Grand Supercycle Wave 5, right? Just again, bigger picture. And remember, dividend paying stocks go down when rates go up. Well, if this is going to happen, maybe rates are going to rise and bring this down, right? Didn't rates rise through all this time period a little bit, right? And it dragged it down. Maybe that's what's about to happen here. It's going to drag it down again. So that's another headwind for your high dividend paying stocks that they're going to have to overcome, is the potential end of the grand super cycle of some of these dividend paying ETFs. We're not there yet, but we need to keep an eye on it. So I have been keeping an eye on it, but we could see a pretty big move down soon. Is all I'm saying. Do you think a bigger round of selling in the stock market is coming beginning in April? How long do you think the sell-off could last? How will the trades in Elite do under the market selling? So the way to trade the market, if the market sells off, is every time you get in a reaction, like if you're an Elite member and you get a reaction higher, like for example, let's say you took the trade in Indo and it went up. We bought it at 269, it goes up to $3, 350, maybe it goes higher. You should take at least half your profit, because then if the market wants to swing back down, you stop out at your entry and you don't lose any money. The trade, and then the other trades that don't react, let's say we buy like a Dollar Tree at 69 and it just doesn't react. Well, you may lose some money, but you won't lose a lot because you bought it so low to begin with. So you have to manage those trades. So you have to manage your profit and your risk. And then of course, if you think the market's going to go down, you should have a short position. You should have long volatility at certain, and that should protect those positions too. So when you do stop out, you'll have profit, and you can let those other shorts run. And that's what we'll do. Just, and that's how you have to trade the market in this bear market like environment. And if we can pull out of it and get a bigger balance, well then of course all your longs, you just after you took your partial profit, you just let the rest ride, and you just let the market do its thing, and you wait for the next pullback and look for opportunity. But I think trying to guess where and when the sell-off is you just can't. You just have to buy the levels or short the levels, and then manage each trade properly, and you won't lose a lot of money. I mean, I can't say you won't lose any money, because that's not possible to say that, but I think you have to just manage it properly. I would be more concerned in technology versus some of the other sectors. But when do I think it's going to happen? It's tough to say. I mean, especially today, right? Maybe tomorrow I'll have a better answer, because we really need to see how this connector develops here that we're in. We really need to watch this connector, and it really depends on how this connector develops, because there's nothing that says it could just start to drop now. Going into the news event, forcing Trump's hand to change his mind, the market forcing his hand. There's no reason that cannot happen. The other is, X goes on longer, and then you get a pump in Y after the news event because it's delayed, and then there's some other, maybe it's Q1 earnings are so bad and it goes down. So there's too many ways that you can't guess it. You really can't. So that's why you just have to trade where you're at instead of worrying about where you're going. So that's where you just look at your levels and you trade it. So right now we have a level on the Qs as a buy because of the sequence, but it's not risk free because you could stop out. So you just have to decide how you want to take that, and if you're going to take that, are you hedged in any way? Are you all in tech, which you should never be? Do you have some other sectors like a staples you're long that could bounce, like Pepsi should bounce if the market's selling off? So you have to think about all those things. So I wish it was like simple, but in a bear market like drop like we're in, it's very short, sporadic trading is usually the way to go. get the profit, take it when you have it, because waiting for a trend in market is usually not possible. Like you did back when it was a wave three, back in this time, like you could just hold. But we're not in that environment anymore as volatility has risen, and it's still around 20. So it's a very dynamic market. But if you buy the levels, set your stop, and just let the market make the decision for you, you really can't lose, is how I look at it. If you miss a trade, is it too late? I think if you get the reaction, let's say you come down here on the Qs and we bounce, or let's say a better one would be silver. Silver gave the trade this morning and we bounced. Now, is it too late if we go back in to buy it? Well, it depends on the reaction if it's reset the cycle or not. So I'll usually try to tell people this, but you could just draw this trend line. You see how we haven't broke that trend line? We're still in the correction. So even though the bounce was nice, if it swings back down, the trade's still valid. But if we go any higher and we break the cycle, then this cycle's over, so you don't want to buy it down here because then it's susceptible to go another 3 waves down. So you don't want to buy it, and you would have to project a new area down to 32, down here. So that's where you got to kind of watch it and watch the reaction. So if it's already reacted, typically, if I see it reacted like this, I can't buy it anymore. It's too late. But look at my entry. Versus if I bought it where I had to buy at 33.15. Well, now my stop's at $33.07. I'm only risking like 10 cents on the trade by entering it here versus here, or waiting and then unwrap. So I'd rather just once I see a reaction, it's too late. I missed the move. It's just like I missed it. There's just nothing, and there's other opportunity that comes, so there's nothing to worry about. There's other opportunity. Yeah, TLT and interest rates, I do want to add to the basic membership. I'm trying to get some more members, so please tell your friends to join. And as soon as I can get a little bit more people, I can add more perks and services, and I want to expand. I want to expand, but I need to get some more members joined. But trust me, you're not missing anything in the bond market. It's in a middle area. It's a very congested, choppy area. If I see a trade in the bond market, I'll pull it out. But I don't really see anything using my system at the moment. The bonds are sidelines for me at the moment, guys. AVY. What is that? I've never heard of AVY, guy. I'm curious. You Avery Dennison. Okay, I've heard of him. Okay. Yeah, there'll be definitely some great bargains. This chart obviously looks like some kind of wave 3 is finished. See the peak? So there's probably your 3, 4, 5 is probably in a flat that's pulling back off of this 3 swing move. So it could actually see 124.92 in a flat. Just a quick calculation, and I don't know much about it, but sure, let's keep an eye on it. Let's keep an eye on this one, and I don't know what you call that, like an industrial, or what are these guys? What sector do they trade? Chemicals, or what the hell do these guys sell again here? Materials, like materials. So yeah, I'll stick them in our industrial bucket. Okay. Thanks, Alwyn. I appreciate that. And yeah, silver. I'm in silver too. Why not? I mean, it was a pretty. To me, it looked like the market gave us a gift. I mean, I was surprised. I was surprised to see it drop like this, especially around the wave 4. I was like, oh, sure, okay, I'll take that. Because again, the chances of this are low given gold should extend higher. It would be very unusual to see gold continue. I think gold hits 3,400, but again, there is risk. Like if the X is in, yeah, we're gonna lose, but we're not losing a lot. I mean, it's not a lot of money to lose to take. I mean, what if silver does go to berserk mode? If silver goes to berserk mode and goes crazy parabolic, I mean, that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. It doesn't happen very often, and we are kind of pushing that. So you need to be a little aggressive. You can't be on the sidelines too much, like too scared. So all right, AMD. Yeah, so AMD is one that we do look at. Our pro group's been looking at. Not hasn't had any good trades, although we could see one here emerge. We do have 5 up. A pullback in B could create an opportunity to go long, maybe around 100. Back test the downtrend line. I think we get another push higher, but I wouldn't fall in love with it because I don't think the sequence is finished. If you just look at the chart, you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and now you're in 2, 2, and you need 3. So I wouldn't fall in love with it. But what this also tells me too is, well, the indices should pull back, make one more high. But what about NVIDIA, right? What about the other semis? It just gets me thinking that, maybe not to be too bearish on the market. Like, again, I'm not forecasting the market's just going to crash tomorrow. I still think it does something like this, right? Maybe this is AMD pulls back to 100, and then it makes that final push higher. And why? So that's what I think. All right, it should continue higher. I think it should continue higher. But you're going against the grain, right? I think you're still fighting the trend lower, but I think for short term, C could squeeze. I mean, we don't know. Maybe it could get to 132 even. How high did this other connector go? So this connector here, yeah, I mean, it retraced about 50% back. That'd be 134. It could come back to 134. So, but I think it's due a pullback. Okay. All right, Timothy, thanks again. Big super chat. BBAI. Yeah, BBAI became a broken chart, and that was like a company-specific black swan. Any company at any moment can put out news that could just destroy itself, right? Anytime you say you have an accountant irregularity, that's the death knell for companies, because there's a lot of managers that won't buy companies just because of that, no matter what their fundamental picture is. So we have it in a bigger picture. We have it in 3 for a B wave. Here I have it in a big ABC correction. We're still in the C leg. We count it a beautiful 5 waves down, and then we have a flat. And I was expecting an extension into this area, and that was the trade setup. And we actually had this buy. Literally caught the low exactly, and we're like happy, and we're like, great, we're gonna break out and this is gonna be good. And then the company drops a bombshell. So 2 is in, and that's just the way it goes. So it's a broken chart, so you can't. Now, could it still swing back up erratically and do like an ABC and do like an A, B, C? It wouldn't shock me if that happens, but I can't trade that. I just can't be part of it. And this looks like, to me, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's just going to keep going down. And it should just keep extending lower. So I think to me, I think the best case scenario is it does whipsaw back up to fill this gap here. And you'll be very lucky if it can do that. But that's BBAI. And NVO is another one we're watching. And we've been patiently waiting months, waiting for months, right? Gave this short area here, right? I'm sorry. Uh, that my bad. That was not a short area. We had to buy here for that little bounce. So when we had this, we had to buy here. We had a small reaction and it failed, right? It double corrected, so it created a whole nother leg lower. And now we need one more. We need to get to probably like $64. It looks like it could be a couple things. It could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we truncate. It could also be a 1, 2, 1, 2. Could be an ended diagonal in C, triangle in C. Could be like a 1, 2 like that. So too many possibilities. The level, this is the right level here to get it. And we've just been waiting. And I've been waiting. Marathon Petroleum. Looks like we had this fifth wave. Looks like a flat of some kind, but let's look at it. We've had this labeled here. Is that 5? Let's look. Yeah, I'd still label this like a flat. So it more than likely will come back to 105. Again, I still think energy is bearish on the longer term cycle. Now the shorter term, it's tradable, right? It looks like you're going to get a counter trend rally here. It looks like you have some kind of 1, 2, 3. You could get 3, 4, 5, right? And then rally hard. The other possibility is to sit down in 3 waves. So it's like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoops, let's do this again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then there. And we just don't. So you don't see that. So that doesn't really work either. So we're moving down in 3. We didn't move down in 5. So maybe we're still in wave 5 then. Or extending. Let's look. No, you got to call that finished. Yeah, we have to label it a little different. I think you have to put this 3 here and put the 4 there, something like that. Let's look at this one more time a little bit closer. The RSI just doesn't support that count I was just looking at. Yeah, see, I still get this. I think we just have to call it like this. We just have to call it like this, and then this gets you to like 119, but see, it may have truncated it. 1, 2, so it's down in 3. So I think you have to say, like, again, is energy producers more bullish than we think? Look at Exxon, look at Chevron. I mean, there is the wave 4. I mean, it did go deep enough. Yeah, I mean, this is the count I'd have to go with. I mean, let's look at it one more time. 1, 2. But see, you didn't correct the grand super cycle, so this is probably another 1, 2 here. This is probably a whole nother cycle. See this. And then the subdivision here is just got to be a little bit different. We have to put that 5 here and put that 4 there. So I'll have to look at the shorter cycles later, not waste any more time. But this, I think it's safe to say it's bullish. I think it's in a 1-2-1-2 setup. If you look at this chart, you know, it is bouncing off this low. It could continue higher. I would expect it to go higher until it breaks 130. I wouldn't worry about any double correction or could it go lower. I would just be trading this higher until the market proves otherwise off of that low because of the way it bottomed. I think it's something like that. We'll go with that for now. Would I be surprised if it double corrects, like it comes back up and comes back down? I wouldn't be. And then it finds a low at 102 when oil finishes its pullback. It wouldn't surprise me. So maybe it will do this too. Maybe this is the better way to look at it. Something like that. And that one's a tricky one. All right, AGX. All right, we've had this one labeled. So we had a 3. Looks like that's your 4. That's your other 5. That's that 3. There's that 4. And there's that 5. All right, and then we still have another 3. So we're almost done with the whole thing. So we should have one more high coming. Right, one more high coming. It hit the buyer exactly. So this is probably done here. See, and it reacted. So that 4 is in. Now we're looking for the 5th wave. So it looks like you're going to grind higher. We broke the cycle. So it really needs to hold this low at 101. Remember what I said, the 5th wave is never guaranteed. So there's no guarantee you'll get a 5th wave. It seems likely given how much it extended already, but there's no guarantee. I think you'll get it personally, but it really does need to hold that low. What do these guys do? Okay, interesting. Industrial. All right. Oh, for vehicle wrapping. Okay, interesting. All right, cool. All right, qubits. Qubits is in buy area. So far on every live stream, we've called it right before massive pump. So is it going to pump tomorrow, guys? There it is. I mean, it needs one more high. Now, there's this big gap staring at me. Could it go deep? It could easily go deeper. So 1, 2. Let's look at this again. So I have this as the connector. Kind of like a flat, running flat kind of connector. So then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So it could have bottomed today. I don't know why it would have, but again, it's always risky. I would feel better if it was lower in the box a little bit, but the other alternative, again, this is risky because you're coming to the end of the cycle. It looks like 3 up. What if you're still in 4 and it's a 3, and a flat, and you come all the way back down to 319? So that's what happens when you trade at the very end of these moves. It's a lot more risky. So, but technically speaking, this would be the area you would see the final push higher into the wave 5. And if you're really lucky, it accelerates, erases divergence, and it moons. So there you go. You can decide how you want to trade it. I would have preferred it a little bit lower, like around in the 7s. I think I would have probably tried to buy it in the 7s. But here, it's a little risky. It's a little risky, but it seems like every time I cover this, the next day in my live stream, it's up like 30 or 40%. So let's see what happens tomorrow. All right. ASX 200. I'll look at that real quick. I don't know if my chart's updated on that ASX, but we can look at it. Yeah, I must have lost the chart at some point. But again, you see how you have a peak here. That's probably your 3. See, that's your 3. So it's in a wave 5, right? It's in a wave 5 of some kind here. More than likely. I mean, nothing's guaranteed, but it's possible it's in some kind of 5th wave. It looks like it could need one more high. But if you look at how it overlaps, it didn't really extend and get separation. It's probably too bearish to say that, even though the RSI is there. So why don't we label it this way? And then you have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4, and your 5, right? And then more than likely you'll get another big pullback and then out. So it's probably in some wave 4. And it probably needs, it already went 50 back. It really can't go any deeper than this, or then it's not a wave 4. And then I'll have to start thinking it's a 5 again. But you really want to see it hold that level. I mean, maybe I could talk myself into it being something like this. And 1's in. Yeah, maybe I could do that. Yeah, see, there's your 3. So I could probably label it this way as well. And then it's in a flat like the rest of the world markets are. They got caught up in a flat. And it just goes down. Right? So maybe I'll go with this because it lines up better with the world markets at the moment. It does something like that. But 2 can go a little bit higher, of course. I don't think this is 5 on the grand super cycle. I just don't, because this wave 3 doesn't seem like it doesn't have the right look to me. But we'll have to keep an eye on it, I guess. Look, I guess if we break that trend line, it is the grand super cycle's over. So then that would bring you back down to 6,400. So yeah, it's definitely maybe some storm clouds coming, I think. But we all know that, right? We know storm clouds are coming for the world markets, so not a surprise. And they're already here. I mean, the storm's already here, whether investors want to believe it or not. All right, futures are kind of doing nothing. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. It was good catching up. Thanks again for the super chats. We'll see what the market brings us tomorrow. And I think tomorrow we'll really define this connector wave. You know, are we going to get this dip down and run, or are we just going to finish it? You know, tough to say here. Right here is so hard to guess. So if you're trying to trade this, you're really just guessing in the casino. Well, you know, is it black or red? I don't know. Because you don't know. But I'd rather react. If we're going to drop, we'll react. We'll buy it. If it's going to run, well, we already have long positions. They'll benefit. And we'll be looking to take profit and maybe enter new short positions. That's the game plan. Thanks, guys. Yeah, Zim's okay, but that's another one that's weak, right? So if the indices get up to here and Zim is still down at 17, we've got to get rid of it. It's not behaving. So it needs to move. It needs to get moving, like tomorrow. It's got to get moving.